Let me show you a cool MyStudio project that I worked on for the company that I work with, Advanced Local, where I am a MyStudio AI consultant. And what they wanted to do is they have an existing workflow called Alt Product Finder. And what this would do is they have an external web page from which a user, any person, doesn't have to be a MyStudio user, would submit the name of a product, the URL, and the session ID and username is part of their front end. And it would be something like a website like this. Like this. A person would want to know what is a good competing product to something that they're looking at. And it could be from Walmart, from Amazon, from any other sort of website. And then it would generate some output similar to this, where it would show you this is the website, this is the product that you wanted to get competitors on, and it shows you the key features of that product. And then it provides a competitor analysis of pretty good detail. Has up to 3 advantages and drawbacks to each competitor that it drives. And some of this was already working for them in that it would scrape this URL, it would analyze the current product that the user provided. But then they were using Perplexity to try to do the heavy lifting of getting some good output. And what they found was Perplexity, even though it's great to have Perplexity in MyStudio, it wasn't robust enough, and it was oftentimes hallucinating URLs where it was not accurate content. So they asked me, can you improve upon this? And this was my first stab at improving upon it. What I did is I made a copy of this workflow, and the way that you do that is you just right-click on it and say duplicate. And then named it for myself, after me, so that the folks at Advanced Local would know that this is my workflow, that they can resume testing after my testing. I removed the launch variables that I don't need right now, the session ID and the username, and everything else I kept the same up to this point. But this is where I changed it. This is where then I use a search search Google block in MyStudio. Specified a set number of results. I limited it to 4, and you'll see why in just a moment. And then when it takes that output, it then takes only the URLs of that output and structures it into a JSON array, just like you see here in this sample output. And the reason why we're doing that is so that it will use a run workflow block following to scrape each one of those URLs to then analyze what were the Google results for those competitors. And one thing that's cool about the Search Google block here is you can do a combination of plain text with variable names. So here I'm using this command that's in MyStudio called get. And if you want to see a video on how to use get, look at a recent video I did just last week about how to use the get command. So I won't go into it now, but what it's essentially doing is getting the key name from this variable called product info and getting the name of the product. And then same thing, the name of the company. So one thing that's cool you can do in search queries is just like you would in Google Desktop, you specify parameters that you do not want in your search results, or you could add a plus sign and do parameters that you do want. So here, I don't want content from Reddit, from Facebook, from Instagram, and even though many of these are great sources to get recommendations, but the goal here was to provide direct links so that the person can buy that product from the competing website that they provide. So you can't do that from any of these social media platforms. And then save that to a search result, get the URLs, run this, and then it comes down to this second workflow where it takes that URL as a launch variable, scrapes each one, summarizes it, and then sends that summary back to the parent workflow here at this output variable. And then this is where the real heavy lifting takes place, is it then takes all of these scrapes and analyzes them, comparing it to the product info from the original product that the user submitted, and structures it into a specific sample output. Because that sample output is going to be used in a HTML template that was already designed, I didn't need to design this. It is getting much better output such that a person can take a look at this and see not only the accurate URL, but see specific metrics as to why there are advantages or disadvantages. Like in this case, drawback, the pricing. Here in this case, it's more affordable, also pricing. This here, this drawback that is heavier at 10.6 pounds than the 8.4 pounds of the original Shark that they were looking at. Shorter battery time. So this offers more value to a customer. So these are the kind of things that are really cool that you can do in MindStudio, and do it as an AI consultant, which is a lot of fun to do. So I hope that you found this video interesting and worthwhile, and hopefully gives you ideas on how you can build different AI agents. Thanks for watching.